All right, well, welcome to another edition of 10 Minutes or Less. Today's guest is San Jose Giants right-hander Clayton Blackburn. Clayton, you're from Oklahoma, right?
Yes, sir.
I take it you're probably into country?
A little bit.
If you could go see anyone, who's your favorite country artist and how far would you drive to see him?
I'd say my favorite country artist right now is probably either Luke Bryan or Jason Aldean, but if I could watch any concert, I'd do like a Kidney Chesney and Jimmy Buffett.
And how far would you drive? How much does it mean to you?
For Jimmy Buffett and Kidney Chesney, there's probably a place I wouldn't drive to, so anywhere really.
Now, being a fan of country, there's probably some country that you're not the biggest fans of. And you probably don't think is much country.
Yeah. Some of the newer stuff, I feel like country artists get to more of the the pop kind of stuff that that sells albums. But with the Luke Bryan and Jason Aldean, they both have that songs. But if you look deeper into their albums, usually you'll get the good country, where they came from, how they started. But I mean, a lot of the new country now is on the radio is pop, and it just doesn't sound very good, or at least in my opinion.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I don't listen to it, but I don't enjoy it as much as I do more old country.
Now, being from the Midwest, how much do your roots stick with you being out here in California?
A lot, actually. It means a lot to me. Family back home, they support me a lot, and having them back home, and I still talk to them a lot. And I also actually talked to my brother today, and he was giving me trouble about California making me soft. So it means a lot. I stick to my values, and some people don't like it, but I mean that's the kind of person I am.
Now, there's a lot of teammates of yours that are from either the Midwest or the South. Does that have any effect on who you hang out with? You're pretty close to those guys.
Yeah, I mean, like me and Chris Marlowe, he's from Texas. I'm from Texas too, and we both hang out a lot. But most of us from the South, we hang out together, but we don't just hang out with each other. One of our good friends, Bryce Mendia, is from California, and Josh Oach is from Idaho. So you don't stick just Midwest, but that's kind of who you relate to. So you can hang out with them more than others.
Now, you're the youngest player on this team. Do you feel like the youngest player on this team? Does anyone ever give you any crap for it? Does it really not get brought up at all?
I catch crap for it sometimes. Not going to college. I hear stuff like that all the time. But it's just they're just joking. But honestly, with these guys, I have two older brothers, and one's 23, one's 25, and they both seem a lot older than me. But a lot of the guys on this team are the same age as them, and I don't see them as any different than me. So I don't think it makes too much of a difference.
Now, you talk about coming straight out of high school. What went into your decision to not play college ball and to sign with the Giants when you were 18?
A lot of factors went into it. It's obviously a really tough decision. I sat down with my family, and we went over it for a while, and we honestly just thought this was the best decision for me in my life at that time. I feel like I was mature enough as a pitcher to go out there and compete at a higher level. And I think as a family, we decided this was the best opportunity for me.
Now, obviously being part of the San Francisco Giants organization, a franchise filled with a ton of pitching talent. Have you gotten a chance to meet any of the pitchers on the Giants team? And if you were to get a chance to meet any of them, who would you like to talk to?
Yeah, I've met Zito rehab when I was down in AZL in 2011. I've met Baumgartner. He came down and pitched with us in spring training. Met Brian Wilson a little bit, talked to him. Talked to Sergio Romo for a long time. The only person I haven't met is Kane. I mean, obviously, I'd like to meet him a lot. Great dude, and obviously a great pitcher. So, I'd like to meet him.
How weird was Brian when you talked to him?
He was in the bullpen when I was talking to him, and he does some wacky things. But when he's around us, he's kind of a normal guy. But he still has his wacky little things he does.
Yeah. Now, describe your style of pitching when you're out there on the mound. What's your brain doing? What are you thinking about it?
That's the problem. Sometimes I think too much, but I think I try to pound the zone early. Try to throw a little sinker down the zone and get ground balls. Sometimes I have a lot of strikeouts in some games, but it's not something I'm trying to do. strikeouts are fine if I get them, but I'm more worried about ground balls and getting ahead of people and not walking people. I mean, that's big for me. If I'm walking people, that's usually when I'm struggling a little bit, and so if I keep the walks down, it usually means I'm doing pretty well.
You pitched real well in April, and you seem to have struggled a bit in May. What are you noticing that might attribute to this fall off?
There in April, I was pitching well, and then there was a week where I got pretty sick, where I missed a couple of days, in the hotel, and after I came back from that, I got kind of off track a little bit. Me and my pitching coach, Mike Couchet, went back and looked at some film, and talking to my dad was helped a lot. He he's been with me, watched me pitch for 18 years, so he me and him had a little talk too, and we make some adjustments in the bullpen. And my last outing, when numbers don't show it that it was great, but I think it was a big turnaround for me, and I hope to compound on that for the rest of the season.
I was chatting with Mac Williamson a few weeks back, and I was talking to him about how he takes pictures of teammates on the bus when they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And he mentioned your name. Said you're a funny sleeper.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say back to Mac about that?
Yeah, he's a guy that always stays awake on the bus somehow, and everybody else is sleeping. And I don't know, sometimes I'll fall asleep when I feel like I'm normal, but I guess when I wake up, I do find myself in some weird positions. So no, he's a good guy. I love Mac. He likes to have fun. So I mean, he's a pretty good guy. So.
All right, one with this. Let's talk about your pitches. What pitches do you throw, and which pitches are you most confident in right now, and which pitches are you really working on to nail down in the near future?
Right now, I'm basically, a sinker. I don't throw many four seams. I throw a lot of, two-seam sinkers, and I have a pretty big curveball. I can throw for a strike most in any count. Struggled with the changeup early in the year, but it's come along pretty well. And I throw a little slider. It's not. I wouldn't call it a true slider. It's I just throw basically a curveball, but just shape it a little differently. But one pitch I need to learn and want to learn and been trying and I've struggled with is a cutter. So I feel like if I can learn that, it'll help my repertoire a lot. So I'd say that's the one pitch I lack.
So that two-seamer has some sinking action on it.
Yeah, that's what I strive on, where I can make sure I'm throwing the ball down the zone with some sink and getting a lot of ground balls.
All right, well, this has been another edition of 10 Minutes or Less. Big thanks to Clayton Blackburn for taking the time today.